What up, fam? I'm Dr. Day Luna, and you are listening to Drop It Like It's Doc podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the second and third trimesters of pregnancy. We're going to talk about a lot of the beautiful symptoms that you may be experiencing or things that you can look forward to, because as I told you in my episode on the first trimester, pregnancy is glamorous. So, if you watched my first episode on the first trimester, you know that first trimester is kind of a doozy. That's how I described it, because you're nauseous, you're exhausted, you might be throwing up. No one really knows that you're pregnant yet. You feel like you have a baby bump, but it's really just progesterone making you bloated and constipated. But once you get to the second trimester, you're pregnant. Things are very much there. So the second trimester, there's a dramatic shift. Some say it's the best. Some say that you feel the most like yourself during the second trimester. And then once again, there's going to be a drastic shift into the third. So we'll kind of walk through some of those things. Know that you can have symptoms, some of these from the beginning to the end of pregnancy. Know that some might come and go. Know that everything I'm talking about is normal. I will definitely give you some fun stories about things that I have felt and experienced in my body, but there are about a billion things that can happen in your body on this incredible journey of growing your new bestie that are not going to be included on this podcast. And also, let me say, just to remind you, sweet angels, I am probably not your doctor. Even if I am your doctor, I'm on maternity leave right now. So if you are concerned about any symptom at all, if you get any of that like doom, oh fuck feeling in your body, and if you want care, go get care. But a lot of what I'm talking about today is completely normal, nothing that you need to worry about, and they're all signs of a healthy pregnancy. So as you can tell, I am huge. I am the biggest I've ever been in my life today, and that will probably continue until the baby comes. And when you're in the second trimester, you're going to start to feel that. As the nausea starts to decrease, as the morning sickness hopefully starts to decrease, as your placenta takes over, you're going to feel a little bit less fatigued because your body just has a little bit more support in pumping out those hormones. You're going to feel more like yourself, but you're going to notice that your body's changing. Yes, it is, because your baby is growing rapidly. Your uterus is growing rapidly. So clothes are probably not going to fit. Your boobs are definitely going to get huge. You're probably going to get hairy. You can get hair in all sorts of places. You can get more hair on your head. Some people are going to be like, wow, did you just leave the salon? You'll be like, no. It's the estrogen making my hair either more curly or more straight. That can totally happen. That is all hormonally involved. And also, you're probably taking more vitamins than you've ever taken in your life. I hope you are. I hope in second trimester, you're not throwing up all the time. So you're able to keep those prenatals down and your hair is going to grow. You're going to get compliments on it all the time. But you know what else might grow? A mustache. You know what else might grow? A beard. You know what else might grow? Nipple hair. You might get just hair, more all over your body. You're turning into, a different version of the werewolf that I described on the episode of the first trimester. Because emotionally, you're probably feeling a little bit better, but physically, you probably don't feel great. Second trimester, I cried a lot because I couldn't fit in any clothes, and that's when I just started buying stretchy stuff, like things that expand with me, because you're going to expand. Oh yes, you are. So as that is happening, as your body is creating a new human, different symptoms are going to start to come up for you. So you probably aren't like nauseous anymore, but as your hormones are still pumping out and as your uterus starts to expand and press on your abdominal organs, you might get heartburn. I am blessed that I didn't get heartburn during this pregnancy. Apparently, old wives' tale is that means that my baby will be bald. Just kidding. But usually you're told, or I've been told, that if you have horrible heartburn, you're basically going to birth a baby Elvis. Like they're just going to come out with so much hair. We'll see. We'll see if that's true or not. I mean, I'm a hairy girl. I think she's going to be covered in hair personally, but heartburn is very common. And that's because the hormones are relaxing your sphincters, especially your lower esophageal sphincter, so food can start to come up. And that doesn't feel good at all because you're already uncomfortable. And things that you would do to manage heartburn, you would do while you're pregnant. as well. So you would want to avoid triggers like spicy foods, sour foods, coffee, chocolate, all the fun stuff, tomatoes, tomato sauce. You wouldn't want to lay down right after you eat. You would want to stay propped up perhaps for a little bit, or, you know, after you sleep, before you sleep, things like that. But heartburn is very, very common. And I would also say that sometimes chiropractic can be helpful, because as this little babylina expands, it's pushing your stomach up, and you can get a little bit of movement of your esophagus and your stomach up above the diaphragm, which can just make it so that food is moving up and out way more easily. So having someone pull it down, whether that be a chiropractor or another body worker, can be super, super helpful. As your body also expands, yes, it does, you might notice stretch marks starting to emerge. Once again, I can't lie and say that I have not had a great pregnancy. I really have. A lot of what I'm talking about is just a normal part of being a human that is growing a new human, but I don't have any stretch marks, and I am really grateful for that. But if you do have stretch marks, know that that's very normal. It's because your skin is literally expanding. Some of it's hormonally involved as well. Different nutrients are involved in collagen synthesis and allowing your body to grow in that way. But I think the reason that I did not get stretch marks is because I've been buttering my body like a biscuit. Every night, every single night, I butter myself. I am not kidding. I rub tallow all over myself to the point that I am slippery. And I rub this baby. I rub my boobs. I rub my butt. I rub my love handles so that this skin expands. I love Primally Pure's body butter. I'll even link it in the little comments below. It makes you smell like a cookie. It is phenomenal. But you do need to use some type of moisturizer, I would say, because you are going to be expanding. And this didn't necessarily happen to me in the second trimester, but since I'm talking about rapid expansion, once you are in the third trimester, because you really grow in the third trimester, like holy shit, you really grow. I was so itchy, intolerably itchy, which is why I use boatloads of butter on this body. But it's just like this, the stretching of your skin, and also just hormones, and it could be like related to your liver processing things, and then you're dry, and like whatever it is, so itchy. So just want to throw that out there, that is completely normal and can totally happen. Second trimester, some other things that can show up for you, which honestly started for me in the first trimester, is that the wildest dreams. The wildest, truly. If I could record what went on in this mind, what still goes on, if I don't even have time to share with you the ridiculous things that my mind created this past week while I was in dreamland. But it is insane. Pregnancy dreams are real. Pregnancy brain is real, where you won't be able to remember words like shelf or toothbrush. You just will be like the thing. Who knows? We're just getting prepared. So I would say more so like second, third trimester, you're exhausted, but sleep can be irregular. So you might have insomnia. I don't know if that's like this impending doom feeling of birth and all the thoughts and the worries and just the busyness of these little crazy brains that we have, or if it's related to blood sugar, which can totally be part of it, or some women are blessed enough that they will get something called restless leg syndrome, which your legs do a little jig every night when you try to go to sleep. They just Irish step dance all night in your bed. This is literally a real thing. And that's because your blood volume is expanding unbelievably. Like, I have more blood in my body right now than I've ever had in my life. And it's because as your blood volume expands, you can get anemic. And restless legs are directly related to iron deficiency. Also things like magnesium and folate and B12 and different things that can influence that type of process. But a lot of the times it is directly related to iron. So obviously if you're Irish step dancing during the night, you're not going to sleep well. And insomnia is terrible and you feel crazy. Also, you're still probably going to be peeing all the time in the night. Because as baby grows, pressing on your bladder, you're going to need to go pee. And you're going to have to get up, and then you get up, and God forbid you look at a clock, and then your mind's like, oh fuck, it's this time in the morning. I have this many hours until I have to go to work. That's what mine does, at least. And then you're just up. Then you are up for who knows how long, until your brain wants to finally get off of the carousel and let you go back to sleep. You might also not be able to sleep that well because you're just uncomfortable, because your body's expanding, and you can't sleep on one side or the other, or your back or your tummy or whatever it may be. So sleep is kind of challenging. I take an unbelievable amount of magnesium every night to go to sleep. Every single night. Works like a charm. I actually sleep pretty good, to be honest. I do. Once again, in some ways I am blessed. But if you would see the darkness of my nipples, you would maybe say that I am not blessed. Who's to say? Speaking of that, you can also get the mask of pregnancy. Doesn't that sound nice? Doesn't that sound really nice? Really, that is hyperpigmentation, also known as melasma, where your skin can start to change colors. I didn't even notice it until my facialist pointed it out, and I was like, damn girl, okay, thank you. But no, just kidding. I love her. I love her so much, and it's her job. It's her job to tell me these things. So basically what can happen is all the hormones that are involved in growing and maintaining a pregnancy can influence the pigmentation of the skin. So you can get darkening of your skin in a lot of areas. I mean, I just mentioned the nipples. That obviously is happening to me, but it can also happen on your forehead. I thought I was just like growing a heavy mustache, to be honest, but it was darkening of my skin around my upper lip. You can get it on your cheekies where it looks like you've just been sun-kissed, but that is normal. Hopefully it goes away when you're done being pregnant, but if not, we can just look super cute together with our pregnancy masks. There's so many other things that can happen in the second and third trimester. So in the second trimester, you're also going to probably get something like an anatomy scan, just throwing that out there. If you are choosing to do the whole like testing, monitoring route, which, you know, if you listen to my previous episode, not everyone does. Some people don't do any tests and they just go fully rogue, and I respect that. But if you are, probably going to do an anatomy scan to see what's going on inside your tum-tum, see what's going on with the little baby, making sure that all the organs are looking good, things are developing well. If you didn't do any genetic testing, you'll probably find out the gender at this time, because they'll be able to tell you if there's a penis or a vulva. They'll be able to tell you. Super cute. I actually thought that when they were pointing to my little girl that they were going to be like, look at her dick, but they didn't, because she's a girl. I would have been totally fine if I was growing a penis, though. Isn't that like a weird thought? They could like just grow a penis. Kind of cool. Super cool, if you ask me. But other things that will happen in the second trimester is that you're also, if you choose, going to be tested for gestational diabetes, because blood sugar just continues to be weird throughout pregnancy. I mentioned that that could be a big part of sleep. But if you get tested for gestational diabetes, which, full disclosure, because you know I'm an oversharer, I didn't do. I wasn't drinking that like corn syrup, disgusting liquid. Ew. You couldn't pay me to drink that. And then also, if you're someone that like doesn't do a lot of sugar and processed foods, and then if you just douse yourself with that many grams of sugar, yeah, something might show up. And then guess what? If you fail that test, then you have to do it again with even more sugar. So I don't know. I didn't do that. But know that that does show up a lot of times in second trimester, something that you would be tested for. For me, I decided to do a continuous glucose monitor instead, which was actually really helpful, because I realized that a lot of the anxiety or the sleep interruptions I was having, or even the fatigue or the heaviness, or things that I just thought were like pregnancy related, were actually related to my blood sugar tanking throughout the day. Which diabetes is typically when you're fasting blood sugar, or, you know, after you eat, even your blood sugar gets super high, and those high levels of sugars cause immense inflammation in your body. For me, the opposite was happening. Your girl was tanking. I was getting very low and very unwell. So that was really helpful for me, just throwing that out there. That's something that I did in the second trimester. What other things can happen to you in your second trimester? Those are a lot of the big ones. Again, this can happen in first, it can happen in second, or it can happen in third. So, in second though, as my little baby, little dinosaur just reminded me, you're gonna start to feel your baby moving around. Yes, you are. It is the coolest thing ever. It is literally the coolest thing ever. The first time I felt my baby move, I was laying in bed with my partner, just feeling her. And it happened. I got so excited, I flailed my arm and I punched him in the face by accident. I would never hurt him. I would never hurt him like that. He was sleeping, and he was awakened by the punch to the head. And it's because it's wild. It's something that you've never felt before, and this is how I describe it. It's kind of like you have a stretchy fishbowl inside of your body. And at first there's like a medium-sized fish just bumping against the side, just like blubbering against the side. And then as baby grows, the fish turns into a donkey. And then the donkey kicks against the side. I would think, if I have never been pregnant before, that it would hurt. Doesn't hurt at all. Just sometimes it's alarming because you just see like a foot, or you just see like an elbow. She just like hit like my cervix, I think. She's low. Baby girl's low right now because we like about to give birth any second. But yes, that's definitely going to start to happen in second trimester. I know for me, I started to get worried because again, I'm a worrywart, and I've never done this before. And I would get so in my head about things. I'm like, I don't feel her. Something's wrong. Nothing was wrong. I just didn't feel her yet. Apparently, if it's not your first baby, second, third, fourth, 10th, whatever, you will feel your baby earlier on and it'll feel more like fluttery, and you'll also start to show sooner. But again, I feel like I showed the second I got pregnant, just throwing that out there. But yeah, very fun magical part of second trimester. I don't know if you can even like see her wiggling around right now. It's kind of fucking wild. There's a live one. There's a live human in there. So once you hit third trimester, it's almost like you're in the first again. I'm so sorry. You get really tired. You get real tired. You feel swollen. You feel like you don't want to do anything. Second trimester, I bought a Pilates membership. Isn't that hilarious? Ask me how many times I've gone in my third trimester. 0 times. 0 times for this girl. I have no need to go. Why? Why would I do that? I can't. I know some people that go hard their entire pregnancy. Bravo to you. If that feels good to you, you do you. For me, hard no. Third trimester has been a lot of laying down, a lot of resting. Something that can happen in the second or third trimester, really at any point of your pregnancy first, but I do know a lot of mamas that this shows up in the third, is that there can be like a lot of yeast infections. This can be related to the estrogen skyrocketing. This could be related to blood sugar. And really, if that happens to you, you want to just like air out your body. You want to just maybe take off your underwear. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can stick garlic up there. You can stick some probiotics up there. You can do vaginal suppositories, but that is a very common thing in pregnancy. Also, your body is just going to be making more goo down there in general. You might, as long as it's like, clear, white, doesn't smell. If it starts to smell, if it's like gray or green or yellow, that's different. You need to get tested. If it's associated with any discomfort, any itching, any burning, any stinging, anything off, that's not what I'm talking about. That is something that you need to get checked out by your doctor, because guess what? Your baby's gonna go through that canal. The baby's gonna go through, and you wanna start preparing that little vagina for, the perfect entrance. So personally, third trimester, I've been sticking probiotics up there. Yes, I have. Just a whole capsule right up there. I'll put my favorite one in the show notes so that you don't just stick up a random probiotic, because some of them you should not be putting up your vagina. But that is something that can definitely happen at any stage of pregnancy. So I want you to know that that is normal. You might even be like, oh, I peed myself, because guess what? Welcome to the third trimester where you do pee yourself now. I remember the first time that happened to me, and it was not fun. Wasn't a lot of pee, wasn't a lot, but it was enough that your girl did have to change. And it's because the pressure on the pelvic floor really starts to increase in the third trimester. Yes, it does. Because as your baby wiggles around, you're also going to feel your baby like wiggle down. And you have that basket of muscles that is your pelvic floor that's also helping to hold all your organs in place, including your bladder. So also, there's just not enough room anymore. Your organs get smushed. Have you ever seen those videos of what happens to a body as the baby grows? Literally, your intestines get smushed. Your bladder gets smushed. Your stomach gets smushed. It's just how? It still blows my mind. So yeah, you're gonna get full really easily, and you're also gonna pee yourself. It's gonna be really cute. Know that you don't have to pee yourself though. You can also see someone like a pelvic floor therapist. Once I did see my pelvic floor therapist, it helped a lot. I haven't peed myself since then, which is great. But I'm sure it will happen again. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Third trimester, you're just feeling full. You're feeling full of a baby. You're feeling full of fluid because your blood volume has expanded so much. And you might not be able to wear your rings anymore. You might have little sausages as fingers. Something that can happen, that happened to me, which is honestly maybe the worst part of my whole pregnancy, which says a lot because it's been honestly a dream. I should not complain at all, is I now have carpal tunnel. That essentially happens from the increased fluid in your body, the swelling, and it's pressing on nerves in your hands. So my hands will go tingling and numb when I'm reading a book, when I'm sleeping on my hand in certain yoga poses. And you just gotta, shake it out. Chiropractic has been really helpful for me, so is acupuncture, but that is a very common pregnancy symptom. Let me pause and say that you're like, oh, Dr. DeLuna said that swelling is normal. No big deal. If you dramatically swell, if you notice that your legs have pitting edema, that your face is swelling, that your hands are swelling, if you feel like your blood pressure is increasing, it might be. And know that you don't really know if your blood pressure is increasing because it's a hard thing to feel, but you might be getting things like more headaches. You might just be feeling in general unwell. Maybe you have some heart palpitations. That could be a sign of preeclampsia. And that is something that you 1,000,000,000% need to get checked out because that is not safe for you or your baby, okay? But some swelling is going to happen. These sausages are definitely normal. But yeah, you definitely don't want to be too swollen. If you are getting swollen, you could be dehydrated. Your body might need more protein because protein is what is maintaining the fluid in your blood versus seeping out of your bloodstream into your tissues. That's essentially what edema is. It could also be related to being somewhat anemic. So heart palpitations, being breathless while you're pregnant, to some degree are normal because your heart has to work harder because it's pumping so much blood throughout your system. Also, you now have a baby pressing against your lungs, so you might feel a little bit short of breath. But if it is something that is concerning or there's no relief or it's constant or, your body is just asking for you to look deeper, you should. But I wouldn't recommend doing like a strenuous hike during your 3rd trimester. I would not recommend it at all. I did by accident. Took a wrong turn. It wasn't funny, but it's really funny, but it was not funny. It's very strenuous. What else can happen to you in your 3rd trimester, you ask? Those are some of the big ones. Headaches can be normal, like I said. Peeing in your pants can be normal, like I said. There's probably so many other things. And there definitely are so many other things. So, for me, I've been blessed in that I've had a fairly easy pregnancy. However, oh my God, how could I forget this one as my crotch just talks to me? Doctors that say the word crotch. As your body is expanding with this little human, some people get pain in their pubic bone where those 2 bones meet at the center of your pelvis. And that can be because your pelvis is expanding. You can get some pubic symphysis pain, which can be totally normal. But something else that is totally normal is something called lightning crotch. Literally, that's what it's called. It's called lightning crotch. And that could be because the baby is nuzzling its little head deeper down into the pelvic bowl and it could hit some of those nerves. And it literally feels like that. It feels like fucking lightning is going off in your crotch. And it comes and it goes super fast, super fast. So it's not constant. Thank God. But when it comes, it is swift, it is fierce, and you're gonna be like, that is lightning crotch. I heard this term before, and it's an experience. Enjoy it. Speaking of that, you can also get something called round ligament pain. So your uterus is, you love when I say this, is essentially a floating organ. It is suspended by ligaments. One of the main ligaments is the round ligament, and it's stabilizing your uterus inside of your pelvis. And as your uterus grows, these ligaments expand and they stretch because they are trying to keep this growing organ and human inside of your body. So as that happens, round ligament pain, it's on the side. It almost feels deep like your psoas, and it can happen from changing position. So flipping over, standing up too quickly, standing up too long, rolling over, whatever it is, it will feel tight and deep in your core. It also goes quick, kind of like lightning crotch. Very different though. Chiropractic body work has been really helpful for me. I've only felt that a couple times, but that could definitely even show up in 2nd trimester as your uterus is expanding and growing. You gotta make room. You gotta make room somehow. Yes, you do. Anything else that I want to share with you about this beautiful, beautiful journey of pregnancy? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You can also get some sticky nips, some sticky nippities. This can happen because your breasts are getting ready to feed a new human, and they make colostrum. Colostrum is gold, liquid gold, full of so many immune factors and vitamins for your little baby Lena. And you might be changing and be like, they're a little sticky. And apparently, at the end of your third trimester, you can even like squirt it out. I tried to squirt some stuff out of my boobs last night. It didn't work. I'm a little upset about that. Maybe that means I have more time. I'm not worried, but like, I think it's gonna be really cool. I honestly cannot wait to breastfeed. I think it's gonna be so fucking cool. But if you got some sticky nips, that is very common, very normal. That's just your body getting ready to feed a child if you so choose, which I hope you choose because your body makes the best milk. Way better than any store-bought milk formula. Way more nutrient dense. Literally can save lives. So highly recommend it. I feel like that is most of the stuff that I wanted to share with you today. So whether you are in your second trimester, you're feeling pretty damn good, or you're in your third trimester and you're like, wow, this is like the first again. I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you giggled along with me as I shared with you some things that I have experienced in my body, some things that my friends have as well. I think that it is unbelievable that we can do this, that we can grow a human, that they can literally change our bodies dramatically. And I know firsthand that it's a lot, okay? It is a lot. Some people I know have morning sickness throughout the day from the start until the end of their pregnancies. Some people have horrible pain like sciatica or back pain. Some people just feel depressed the whole time, these mental, emotional ups and downs and all arounds. A lot of those things can be supported, whether they are with naturopathic approaches, with getting a therapist on board, with having, something like physical medicine support. There are ways to help support your body, but also know that a lot of it is just part of the ride, my babies. So please share this with someone that wants to learn about some beautiful things in the second and third trimester. If you have any questions or things that you've experienced that you want to drop in the comments, please do. I literally love talking to you. I love interacting with you. Sometimes I just like refresh to see if someone's left a comment or asked a question because it literally makes my day. So please make my day. Drop it on in there and subscribe to this podcast so that you can learn more about pregnancy and preparing to get pregnant and postpartum and parasites and all the other fun shit that we talk about on here. Thanks for keeping it real. I love you so much.